to be here. Last week we saw Jeff Clinton go wire to wire. Wasn't without controversy though on that last lap.
Yes, it's a very hard battle. Actually, Jeff dominated that race. So he came home with the victory.
Wire to wire there, Mike, but he overtook the points lead from Cable last week the hard way. A lot of guys were begging for Cable to take a break from the series. The points lead from Jeff the hard way. And the East Coast
So far, we've seen domination not by one driver, not by two drivers, but we've seen domination by mainly one driver in particular. And driver number 8.
Folks at home and see exactly what may be causing that music in the background. Once we get that fixed, we'll be ready to rock and roll there.
I don't know. Okay.
Get it all muted. And
Hopefully
everything.
we are good.
We are all set now. No more club music for the folks at home there, Mike. Hopefully we are rocking and rolling now for the East Coast Modified Tour here in Hickory, North Carolina. I want to welcome those who were watching the big show here on 10-4 Broadcasting on YouTube. I believe Timothy Pope was able to come away with the victory there in the big show race. Oh, and they can't hear us now, Mike. Let's see if we can't get that fixed for the folks at home.
Working. Okay, way better. Again, we
Way
apologize.
better. There we go. Hey, we're working it out here. Get rid of that club music for the folks at home, but we are rocking and rolling now, Mike. And just take the folks at home through how excited you are to see these East Coast Modified Tours. I'm here to watch the... There we go. Yeah. Take the folks at home through what you expect here tonight at Hickory, a track that I've actually never seen before on iRacing. Maybe you have a little bit of experience here on this track.
Well, I believe we were talking about it before we had a little technical difficulties about a couple of drivers being a little bit more dominant in this series. And we look like top of the charts of qualifying at the moment is Caden. A lot of the drivers had said that they wanted him to take a couple weeks off just to catch up in points. This track is your average short track derby type of race, and we'll go through the starting lineup here shortly, because I know these go super fast. As we see Patrick Jenkins in our chat, he wants to say hello to all.
Yeah, we're taking a look at the weather settings here for Hickory, North Carolina there, ladies and gentlemen. And as we were coming on the air there, we did have some technical difficulties, some loud music. I'm just so excited here at 10-4 Broadcasting here to bring you this East Coast Modified Tour. We were talking about how Jeff Clinton went back-to-back like Drake here in this series, overtook the points lead from Caden the hard way when in back-to-back races, actually went wire to wire last weekend, actually took a last lap crash to settle things down a little bit there. But it was unfortunate, though, because we had a side-by-side race for most of the race there in that race. About a lap and a half there, Mike, until they touched just a little bit. Caused Jeff to clear the way there and actually pick up his victory there and overtake the points lead. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. I am liking that dark asphalt here at Hickory. We'll see who's going to be taking this heat number 1 victory. We got Nathan Bryant. We got Carpenter up there, Jeff Clifton. Man, what a heat number 1 for you folks at home. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Green, green, green. And heat number 1.
We are green flag up front. Big battle for the lead and second place. As Nathan Bryant, I believe Nathan Bryant said that he would not be able to run tonight. Wow. But he's here trying to put on a show for everybody. Jeff Clifton in at number 15 in P2, followed by your pick last week in Brad Carpenter.
Yes, sir, of course. Let's see Brad running in that 3 machine. Brad ran a really good race last week, Mike. Ran in the top 5 the majority, just was caught up late in the late stages of that. We didn't have many cautions at Martinsville, which is surprising for these modifieds, but the caution started raining down with about 25 laps to go. But once that started to happen, the race started to pick up a little bit more there. As you see, we already have a car spun out on that infield. Now, in these heat races, Mike, it doesn't necessarily form the field for the main event. It's almost like, I would say, an extended qualifying or practice session. You really get a feel of the track. You get to really feel your tires as we have our first caution here in heat number 1. Really gives the drivers an opportunity to find their lines for the main event.
Yes. Also figure out the grip level for each track. Just because, when you start in the practice, the grip level for the track will change over the course of the event. It's like we see Jeff and Mark. We're going to go to a replay to check out what happened here.
Rev up that 10-4 broadcast and replay for the folks at home, Mike. Oh, man.
Oh, see if we can rewind there just a tad bit.
Seeing some heavy hitters mixed up in that. That's Mark Swain in that 66. Also Brad Carpenter in that 3. Also, I believe Jeff Clifton, last week's winner, might have been caught up in that as well. Now, as I was saying, Brad ran a really consistent race at Martinsville last week. Just got caught up in some late race action. One of those drivers that I really feel is going to break through here eventually, Mike. Coming almost halfway through the season now. We're just actually, tonight will be the halfway point here in the East Coast Modified Tour. As you see, Brad's now going to be on the back of the pack there with last week's winner, Jeff Clifton. Looks like Mark Swain has gone ahead and put that machine in pit road. We're getting ready for that main event coming up here in just a bit. But I do want to let the folks at home know, if you were tuning in for the first time this East Coast Modified Tour, during the main event, the caution laps do not count under yellow, Mike. And that's a rule that I personally like myself.
Definitely gives these drivers more time on track under green flag conditions than it does under yellow conditions.
Really gives way for a lot more racing here in the East Coast Modified Tour. As we have an opportunity to do so, Mike, I do want to give a shout out to our title sponsor of tonight's race, and that is AdminBoxx. AdminBoxx with 2 X's on the end is an head controller designed specifically to call out iRacing admin commands. Man, what a cool tool this is. It is extremely user-friendly so as to be used while racing and being an administrator simultaneously. So all you admins out there, no more jumping back and forth. That is the thing to do. We'll run that commercial in just a bit, ladies and gentlemen. But here we go. We are green, green, green once again here at Hickory Motor Speedway. You see Nathan Bright get a big jump there. Ooh, and they touch right behind him. That's Blankenship. New name in tonight's field. Get Mitchell right there as well. Caden get Taft right there as well, racing with them. Oh, no! And they spin coming off of 4.
And that is the final lap, folks.
Man, Mike, we'll see who took home that heat number 1 prize. Looks like Nathan Bryant is going to come away with heat number 1 winner. Blankenship in number 2.
You can check out the replay right quick here.
Oh. Grab that up for the folks at home, Mike.
The event just changed. Looks like we're going to the second heat. I apologize for that.
Action moves quick here in the East Coast Modified Tour. We'll get to that heat number 2 in just a second. And we go. Waylon Turner is going to be racing in tonight's event. Also got foil up there. Jacob Torman. Jacob's a name to definitely watch out here in the main event. Miles Morris has been running really strong as well. Edward Marshall in that 4 machine of Edwards Racing Setups 906. Definitely go check them out as well. Chris Edwards and then Daniel Rowe is going to be the 7th car in heat number 2 here in the East Coast Modified Tour. And again, tonight's race is sponsored by AdminBoxx with 2 X's. Definitely go check them out on Facebook and Discord. AdminBoxx is a device used just for admins, or maybe you run a league yourself, maybe you're race control. This controller will definitely help you work simultaneously to call these races. No more having to jump back and forth to call cautions, add laps, any of that craziness. It is definitely a plug-and-play device, USB, and it is lit up as well. So if you are familiar with a stream deck for streaming on Twitch or anything like that, this is the device to use as an admin of leagues, Mike. And hopefully, I know you run a league on the side here as well. Hopefully you'll be picking that up. I know one of our admins of the Virtual Racing League is going to pick one up as well. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to go green, green, green once again in heat number 2.
Side-by-side action early on here in heat number 2. We've seen heat number 1, a little bit calm. But we got a little chaos there towards the end. Heat number 2, side-by-side action.
That's Turner rocking that inside lane right now. We're seeing some lanes being formed already. See Jacob Torman in that 31. Some different drivers in tonight's event, Mike. Maybe some names we just haven't called out yet. Seems like everybody wants to race at Hickory here tonight. Turner leading the way. I'm liking that paint scheme out of Turner as we see Edward Marshall in that 4. Already going a lap down. Looks like he might be heading to pit road. He's going to go ahead and park that machine for the main event. Oh, man, as Torman goes to that inside panel on the entry to the corner. He's putting that nose right there. Man, Mike, they are racing aggressive already. Oh, and Torman gets loose on the exit.
This is hard side-by-side racing.
They are racing their tails off already here at Hickory Motor Speedway. We're not usually prone to this here in the East Coast Modified Tour. Usually the heats are a lot more calm, cool, and collected, a lot more zen, if you will. Not tonight here, ladies and gentlemen. I think the drivers are feeling the heat as we are halfway through this season here in the East Coast Modified Tour. They are ready to race for that points championship as we have a new points leader in Jeff Clifton, who overtook Caden last week. Did it the hard way, Mike. Went back to back like Drake here in the East Coast Modified Tour and went wire to wire last week.
Definitely. This league is getting bigger and bigger. If you like, modifies and short track racing, hard racing, this is the league to be.
Oh, man.
Oh, we've seen that.
And they make contact, the 31 of Jacob Torman.
Man, that's
That was a Dale Earnhardt move if I've ever seen one. Maybe a Kyle Busch move for the modern folks at home. Here we go. Jacob Torman's now leading the way in that 31. Like I said to you folks at home, Jacob's definitely a name to keep an eye out for in that main event. A driver that I really feel is going to break through here eventually, as we see a 2-dog race between Caden Tufts and Jeff Clifton right now at that points lead. Jacob's definitely a name to keep an eye out for here towards the end of the season with 6 races to go here in the East Coast Modified Tour. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to go ahead and cruise to this heat number 2 victory after pulling off, I would say, Dale Earnhardt, Kyle Busch type move there. Go ahead and just put that nose in that quarter panel, send the other driver up the track just a little bit. A little love tap off the track, if you will, as we take a look at that here. Just a little tap-a-roo as you're entering the corner. Let the other driver feel you a little bit. There you go.
It's like he overdrove it into the corner. And it looks like we're in our warm-up phase, so these drivers are going to cool down a little bit. Get some final thoughts on pit road. And
yes, sir. And
we're going to take a quick commercial break. And
run those beautiful commercials, Mike.
And we'll be back very shortly.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here in the East Coast Modified Tour, Mike, and man, those first two heats were hot, if you will, for a lack of a better term. That was about the most chaotic and racy, for another lack of a better term there, heats we've seen so far here in the East Coast Modified Tour. We saw Nathan Bryant pick up heat number 1, and we saw Jacob Torman with a little bit of Kyle Busch, Dale Earnhardt move there, sending the second place, or actually the leader at the time, up the track a little bit to pick up heat number 2. Man, if that is just a free sample of what we're going to get in the main event here in the East Coast Modified Tour in the AdminBoxx 80, I am excited and pumped up for what this main event has in store for us.
This race is actually sponsored by Martin Sports 906 Apparel. If you want to check them out, definitely. I did place my order for my esports jerseys, so definitely looking forward to those.
Actually, Mike, I believe tonight's race is sponsored by AdminBoxx, because we are at Hickory Motor Speedway here in race number 6 here in the East Coast Modified Tour. AdminBoxx is definitely something that you want to check out as an admin here in the East Coast Modified Tour. If you were running a league on the side, if you were admin here watching tonight's race, it is definitely a product you want to go pick up. It is plug-and-play device that you can plug in, call cautions, add laps, all that stuff that you have to suffer to have to go back and forth on. You can do it simultaneously. If you are familiar with what's called a stream deck for video game streaming, this is similar to that, as it's lit up plug-and-play USB. And Mike, I believe one of our admins in the Virtual Racing League, another mod league that we call on Tuesday nights, I believe he is interested in picking one up. So if you are interested in picking one up yourself, definitely go check them out at AdminBoxx. That's 2 X's. They have a website, Facebook, and a Discord page. You can go check them out on.
Definitely, as we see warm up here, get about another minute and a half at least. These drivers getting some final tune-ups. This series is a fixed series using the Tour Modifieds. I know that we also broadcast on Tuesday nights the Virtual Racing Association using the SK Modifieds. They are the same version of the tours. They just got more gears and more speed. So if you're looking to check out some modified racing on Tuesday nights during the week, come check us out. I believe that's going to be Tim Hammond in the booth with Will as well. I will be in race control, helping the league out. I believe they got some new sponsors coming on board. I know AdminBoxx has come on board with them. I want to appreciate them for coming on board. I believe they have a couple other sponsors in the works, but we can't forget about this week, or actually tonight, as we are going to our main event here very shortly.
Now, Mike, with a little bit of time left in this warm-up here, just taking a look at that leaderboard to see the drivers that are running some hot laps before we get this thing rocking and rolling. What are some of the names that you're keeping an eye out for here tonight, or what's your race pick here at Hickory?
Well, you can't forget about the number one guy that's on the board. Never forget about that one. And that's Caden Truffitz. But, I don't want to always pick the fastest guy. I always want to, look at a dark horse. So I know my dark horse. I can't be biased. But definitely going to be picking that 72 of Chris Edwards. He is the number 2 this week. Again, I can't be biased, but besides him, if I want to go as a dark horse, I think Chris Edwards would be my dark horse. But Jacob Torman, we've seen that in the second heat. He was very aggressive. He even gave somebody the bump and run, so to say. So I'm going to probably pick him tonight.
That is I like your style, Mike. You pick a few different drivers just in case one of them pokes through. That's how I should make my bets online if I'm betting on sports. You know, bet on a few things, so if one of them breaks through, I make sure to win the race there. But definitely for me there, Mike, I can't be reminiscent without forgetting about last week's winner, Jeff Clifton. I know he's starting in P9 here, but that's only because he got in a little bit of trouble to start the heat off there. Of course, Caden Tufts. But you know another name, Mike, that's had kind of a bad run here the past couple weeks, other than the win on Easter, or finishing second on Easter Sunday, and that's TJ Allen. TJ Allen's coming into this race from TJ George Esports, and man, they've had a busy week in that stable. Mike, I believe they have run about 4 or 5 races this week, so definitely keep an eye out for him. He's coming in with a lot of race experience. I do want to give a special shout out to that paint scheme here tonight at TJ Allen's race car. That is to raise awareness of military suicide. So if you want more information on that, definitely go check out TJ George Esports. But we definitely give a lot of props to him rocking that paint scheme here tonight in honor of all those military veterans who have unfortunately taken their own life or suffer with depression. So definitely do want to give a special shout out to TJ Allen for running that paint scheme here tonight. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Looks like the pace lights are off of that truck. We're about to go green flag racing here in the East Coast Modified Tour. Here we go, green, 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 green. You see Caden Tufts gets a big jump off of there. You see TJ Allen, and that 6 goes to the high side. Oh, they touch on the exit of 1 already. Oh man, big action already on the exit of 4, Mike. And we didn't even complete 1 lap yet here in the East Coast Modified Tour.
And just so you guys know that you'll be seeing the intervals change up top and on the side panel. Under cautions, they do not count. Caution laps do not count in this main heat.
We'll definitely get that 10-4 broadcast and replay revved up for you folks at home to see what exactly occurred there on the exit of 4 on lap number 1 here. You see it's the 61 and 72. See, the 61 kind of came in a little hot on the exit there. Maybe was trying to slow down. You see, that's the 6. Yeah, that's the 61 we see. Ooh. Yeah, maybe, Mike, if we give that a little rewind there, reverse the tape, if you will, for those VCR references, you'll see that the blue machine comes in, get that number there, comes in really hot, and just clips that back in there and just says, move, get out the way. Shout out to Ludacris there, because there was no stopping that machine when you come in that hot into the corners. See, Mike, we already have our first caution of the race. We'll definitely get that live scoring fixed up for the top there, because I believe that was lap number 1. Didn't even finish 1 lap here in the East Coast Modified Tour. We already have action out of 4. I believe we are green flag racing here once again here.
Yes, we just went green flag.
Get that fixed for you folks at home. Once we get the exact number of laps there, but we're keeping an eye out on this race lead so far. Caden Tufts is leading the way here. Looks like he wants to overtake that points lead, Mike. Maybe a little upset of what happened last week between him and Jeff Clifton there. I believe that was only less than 5 laps to go. They got tangled up after racing side by side for about a lap and a half. You see Caden Tufts is up there with Nathan Bryant, TJ Allen. We got Jacob Torman. We just saw him race a very aggressive heat there. We got some fans in the chat. You want to take that opportunity to shout out those fans that are watching here tonight on 10-4 Broadcasting. Looks like, hey guys, Patrick Jenks in the 51. Hello to all. Shout out to Patrick Jenks in that 51 machine. There is one of the Mission 22 cars. Yes, sir, they are. TJ Allen is that 6-car racing for that Mission 22. So if you want more information how to support the Mission 22 there, that is military veteran suicides, definitely go check that out, Mike. That is definitely a cause that needs to be spotlighted here. Definitely want to give a shout out to him. And let's go Alan and Blankenship. I believe Blankenship and Alan are racing those yellow race cars tonight in honor of Mission 22. So again, if you want more information on that, Mike, we definitely have another caution here on the track. Our second caution here at Hickory Motor Speedway.
Oh, as we see the 72, a couple problems out of turn 2. Gonna rev up that 10-4 broadcasting caution replay.
Yes, sir. We apologize if we don't get your names and numbers just right here tonight. I believe we have some new drivers in tonight's field, so we do apologize for that. We'll take a look at this replay to see what brought out our second caution of the night here. That is the 72. Oh, gets loose. And then puts that tire up on the fence there. Mike, that might have been a little bit of karma there catching up to him as he was involved in our caution just a little while ago, coming into that corner hot, flipping the back of another race car. So it might have been karma just catching up to him there, if you will. Just like in basketball, Mike, they say the ball doesn't lie. It looks like the racetrack doesn't lie either, as we are under our second caution here.
But if we note, we go back to that replay. With the 72 of Chris Edwards, we noticed him get on the apron, and that's one thing that you want to be very careful. You get on that apron, you know, you can lose it, just as we've seen Chris do. We will go back and I will show exactly how that came about.
Mike, you like to call the area the marbles?
No, this was full on the apron.
Woo!
A little graphics bug there iRacing puts out. Again, we apologize for that.
Looked like we were watching a bit of the Winter Olympics there, Mike. You went ice skating down the apron.
Definitely. As we're getting ready to go green here, Caden and Nathan, 1-2.
Let's go, Caden. Caden's got a big jump already on that restart. Saw Jeff Clifton last week do that as well. We saw that in our other modified tour as well on Tuesday nights. If you can get that rocket restart, I like to call it, you can really pull the rest of the field behind you. You see Brad Carpenter is battling for position here. This is a battle for, I believe, the 6th position on the track, so just outside the top 10. He is battling with Miles Morris there. You see the 57 of Mitchell right behind him. The boys are giving it they're all here tonight, Mike. Halfway through this season, it is starting to be crunch time for a lot of these drivers. If your name is not Jeff Clifton or Caden Tufts, it is time to start stacking up those wins here in the East Coast Modified Tour. You see they are single file on that high side lane, Mike. I'm interested to see what's going to be the preferred line here in tonight's race. This is my first time at Hickory Motor Speedway. I grew up in North Carolina, but I grew up right outside Charlotte Motor Speedway, the dirt track there as well. Just never made it out to Hickory, but I'm definitely glad to be here tonight with you folks, and definitely with you, Mike, checking out this live action out of the East Coast Modified Tour. And you see, Mike, they're running, some drivers are running different lines as the laps progress. You see some drivers stick to that bottom lane as you see these modifieds that touch that yellow line with the tires, and you see other, oh man, that was close there. You see other drivers are staying a bit high side.
Yeah, we've seen a couple drivers during the first couple of heats be way aggressive and actually getting that below the yellow line. As we've seen with Chris Edwards, you know, it was unfortunate that he got way too low, which caused him to spin. But you want to run just a tad bit. Oh, as we see Jacob there going below the yellow line and try to clean up that car. But the normal line you want to run around this track is just a little bit above that yellow line, maybe a foot above that yellow line. We will go on board with Jacob.
Awesome. I love these onboard cameras, Mike, and of course these onboard cameras are brought to you by 10-4 Broadcasting. If we could, for the folks at home, Mike, could we pop up that speedometer in the oh, there it is, Mike. Oh man, now we get to see the speed on the entry and exit, which I love taking a view on. He hits about 100 there, drops it down to about low 70s. It's back up to about 110 there, Mike. Drops it back down to 170. But I'm really interested on, Mike, I know you are used to racing road courses and sport racing and super speedway racing, but here at the short tracks, it's really about hitting your marks there on entry and exit. We'll take a ride with Jacob here on this next corner, and you'll see where he decelerates into the corner.
Looks like he's getting. It looks like he's getting more aggressive on the corners and try to, use those tires up more.
Right, and you see him really go low down there and try to touch that yellow line with those tires.
Yes, if you get too tight, you're going to overdrive your corner, as we've seen a couple laps ago. He's trying to hit that yellow line, try to help it turn a little bit more.
You'll see, maybe we'll count with the folks at home. You'll see him decelerate here, see how long it takes. 1, 2, 3, about 3 or 4 seconds until he gets back on the gas there, Mike. And you see he's starting to get a big run. He saw a big run out of the exit of 2 there. Lost a little bit of speed there, Mike. And I wanted to ask you, as an iRacer yourself, how thin of a margin is it to really touch that yellow line with the tires, but also not to make sure you don't hit that apron, as you said?
Oh, it's very hard, especially in these type of cars. As we've seen Jerry Mitchell there overdrive that corner just a tad bit, on board with the 15 of Jeff Clifton.
As our viewers in the chat have mentioned, we are coming up on some lap traffic here as we're taking our ride on board the self-proclaimed king of the modifiers in Jeff Clifton. And that self-proclaimed title might be the full-on title for Jeff, as he is our new points leader heading into tonight's race. He went back-to-back like Drake here in the East Coast Modified Tour. He went wire to wire at Martinsville. What a feat that is to do. Man, I don't think I've ever seen that at Martinsville.
As we see our race leader, 88, Caden Truffers.
Tufts there.
I apologize for that last name. But as we see in the corners, he's getting a little bit towards the apron, but he's not getting back on the throttle so early. To help him to get that car turned. See, as we see in turns 1 there, getting on that apron, but letting it coast more. As we do have a caution.
Looks like we'll rev up that 10-4 broadcast and replay for you folks at home to see what exactly brought up that third caution of tonight's AdminBoxx 30 there. You see the one of Miles Morse there get clipped by Jacob Torman. Man, Jacob's just got that Kyle Busch attitude of tonight's race here at Hickory Motor Speedway. He is just racing his race. As they asked Kyle Busch what his future is, he said, ask Joe Gibbs. And he's just got that attitude here tonight, Jacob Torman in that 31. And who knows, Mike, that might be the way you want to race around this track.
Oh man, short track racing, this is the type of racing you live for. You see, Caden having a nice Sunday drive, so to say.
Take a look there. Man, Mike, this is a lot different than what we saw last week at Martinsville. A lot more calm, cool, and collected. Talking about calm, cool, and collected, we want to send you folks over to Martin Sports Apparel 906.com. Martin Sports Apparel is your one-stop shop for your sim racing and sports apparel needs. Check out their wide variety of sim gloves, hats, t-shirts, and hoodies. Not to mention they do custom work. Custom work, Mike. I think you are putting in an order for your team for those custom racing jerseys. Man, I can't wait to see those things on stream. Maybe you can rock one of them for the folks at home during one of our live broadcasts here in the East Coast Modified Tour. But after this broadcast, ladies and gentlemen, we are definitely a sports broadcast here. We want you folks to go check out Stay Tuned Sports Podcast. Join your good friends Jimbo as he tackles everything from football to baseball, basketball to hockey, MMA, and even soccer. And there can't be a better time to go check out that podcast right now. He's got the NBA playoffs, NHL playoffs. You got a huge UFC fight going on this weekend as well. Champions League soccer is kicking off as well. baseball is just getting going. Starting to see which teams are starting to pull away from the rest of the pack there. So definitely go check out Stay Tuned Sports Podcast and check them out on Facebook or stssports.podbean.com. We'll give them a look-see as well. And man, can't be reminiscent without mentioning our title sponsor here at tonight's race, the AdminBoxx. We'll run that awesome commercial once we get another yellow flag here. We'll watch Caden Tufts in that 88, another rocket restart, Mike. Caden's leading the way there as we take a look at the battles ensuing behind the leader there. As Brad Carpenter in that number 3 machine. That is who Katrina Hall is pulling for here. Shout out to Katrina Hall. Number 3 in that lime green, Brad Carpenter. He's battling for 4th position right now. A new driver in Hoyle right behind him in that 05. The 57 driven by Mitchell, another name that we have not seen yet here in the East Coast Modified Tour. 17 cars here in tonight's main event. We have 2 cars that have headed to the garage to pack it up and head to Watkins Glen, New York. Next weekend, can't wait to see those drivers take on the road course. See Jeff Clifton's having to pick up the race win the hard way here tonight. Like he's having to battle through the field. As you see, 57 Mitchell's trying to hold off the self-proclaimed king there, Jeff Clifton. Hold his line as Jeff's going to go to the inside there on entry. And we have a caution on the track again here, ladies and gentlemen, just about the halfway mark here in the East Coast Modified Tour. We'll rev up that 10-4 broadcast and replay for you folks at home to see what caused that caution. Oh man, Mike. We'll see there. I believe we'll get Mike back in the booth here in just a second, but he has given us that awesome view of the replay to see what exactly happened. It looks like that's the 89.
I apologize for that. I thought I had my mic on. I was here yapping. But speaking of next week, Watkins Glen. We talked to Evan about last week that these drivers would be more likely practicing for Watkins Glen than they would for Hickory. And I think that's what we're seeing this week, where a lot of drivers, you know, they have the road course mentality. But when you go from a short track to a road course, or road coursing practice to a short track, your mentality has to change. You have to be more patient here. You know, at a road course, yeah, you have more room for error, but also you can capitalize on someone's mistake. And we see these drivers getting a lot more aggressive.
Indeed, Mike. This is, I'd say, probably the most aggressive race we've called so far here in the East Coast Modified Tour, here in the AdminBoxx 30. We already have our 4th caution about halfway, Mike. We were actually pretty surprised up here in the booth last week at Martinsville because it was green flag racing for the majority of that race, I'd say, until about the last 25, 20 laps there. And we got a member in the chat there, Puppet Master, said he drove right through the 00. Yeah, it's been that type of race so far here in the AdminBoxx 30. Very aggressive driving, to say the least, Mike.
Definitely as we go green, green, green.
Caden Tufts with that rocket restart once again. He has found his mark on those restarts. No! As you see, Nathan Bryan gets really loose, and we have our 5th caution again here, ladies and gentlemen. That might be a race control caution. If not, we'll rev up that 10-4 broadcast and replay to see what exactly occurred there. We did see Nathan Bryan get really loose on entry of the corner there, I believe. So he may have stuck a nose right in that fender.
I don't believe that was a caution. I believe that was an admin caution.
So
that was race official caution.
Bad restarting. Talking about race control and restarts, Mike. I believe the device that Evan Burke here, the admin of the East Coast Modified Tour is using is the AdminBoxx with 2 X's. Now, AdminBoxx is our title sponsor here in tonight's event, just about halfway through here in race number 6. AdminBoxx is a head controller designed specifically to call out iRacing admin commands. So just like these cautions you see here tonight is used just for that. It is extremely user-friendly, so it's to be used while iRacing and be an administrator simultaneously. It is true plug-and-play with no key binding or programming required. Just have iRacing simulation running in pit or driving mode. So man, go check them out at AdminBoxx with 2x's.com, or they also have a Discord page as well. So let's go check out AdminBoxx. You are a member of the server here in East Coast Modified Tour. Go check out @fish. That's who you want to check out for the AdminBoxx. That's AdminBoxx with 2 X's. And Mike, that is definitely the device to have if you are admin of an iRacing league.
Most definitely. I believe I'm just going to double check this caution truck. Make sure we can run that ad for you. Looks like we're going green next lap.
Maybe we'll give the folks at home a little side-by-side action here. Maybe around lap 45 we'll go side-by-side, Mike.
Definitely. Looking forward to getting these ads for you, but the action on track has been, intense. We have a new leader, as in Patrick Jenkins.
Patrick Jenks is up there. We actually have a fan of Patrick Jenks in that 51. You see that rocket restart out of the 51 there. Turner's right behind him, but look, Caden Tufts is already overtaken for that second position right behind him. And Brad Carpenter in that 3 there, side by side for 3rd place there. Nathan Bryant has overtaken Nathan Bryant. Caden Tufts is going for that lead there in the 88 machine. Nathan Bryant in that 149 as well, right behind him. Look at TJ Allen in that 6 is right there. Caden Tufts has wasted no time to overtake once again that lead there. He has found his Emperor's New Groove here at Hickory Motor Speedway. He's leading Nathan Bryant in that 149 machine. TJ Allen, I really want to see him put that 6 machine in victory lane. He is racing for Mission 22 here tonight. What a special cause that is, and definitely a cause that needs to be spotlighted. A lot more military veterans, suicides, and mental health awareness there in that number 6 machine. It'd be awesome to see TJ put that machine into victory lane here. As we see, Caden Tufts is leading the way here in the AdminBoxx 30. But ladies and gentlemen, we're about to bring you side-by-side action here in the East Coast Modified Tour. And what a perfect timing there. We have our 6th caution of the race. So once we get this 10-4 broadcast replay revved up for you, we will hit that commercial break in just a minute.
And I believe I was wrong that Patrick, the 51, and I believe it was the 61, was on the tail end of the lead lap. That's why they were out front. So we were going to go to our caution and check out what happened.
Yeah, Mike, these cautions are raining down here like cloudy with a chance of meatballs. We'll see exactly what occurred here. That's Miles Morrison, that 1 machine. And it looks like, oh no, and maybe a car just got a little wacky by themselves. Just didn't have anywhere to go on the track there, Mike.
I believe it was the 57 of Jerry Mitchell.
Oh. It looks like there was some contact between Edward Marshall and that 4, which sent the 57 up the track, got a little loose there. And then Jacob Torman, man, Jacob's just having a crazy night there in that 31. What a fantastic Sunday he's having all over the place with the action here in the East Coast Modified Tour. Just got entangled with that 57. Mike, I believe that is our 5th or 6th caution already here in the East Coast Modified Tour. But ladies and gentlemen, we will run to commercial in just a second. We'll give you that opportunity to get those drinks and snacks in before we go green flag racing once again here in the AdminBoxx 30. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we are back once again here at 10-4 Broadcasting, bringing you this live action out of the East Coast Modified Tour here in the AdminBoxx 30. Looks like the pace lights are off of that truck, and we're about to go green flag racing here once again. We'll see who gets that big jump on the restart. Looks like Caden Tufts gets a huge jump with Nathan Bryant right behind him. TJ Allen, that 6 Brad Carpenter is going to round out your top 4. We got Hoyle in that 09 in 5th place. They're single file racing here around the corner here, back onto the front stretch. Brad Carpenter in that 3 car is looking to make a move on TJ Allen at 6 as we round through this field here. Taking a look at Jeff Clifton there. He is battling it out here tonight, Mike. Not as easy as a victory as it was for him last week. It's Rex Hoyle in that 05, new driver here in the East Coast Modified Tour. And we have our 7th caution of the race here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll rev up that 10-4 broadcasted replay for you to see exactly what occurred there. It might have been a bad restart. See exactly what occurred there, Mike. Man, these cautions are raining down.
Oh man, looks like bad luck for my picks this week.
No!
Oh no. As you see 31 get a little too tight off. And clip the outside wall.
Man.
As you see the pace truck doing wheelies coming out of the pit lane.
Man, Mike, could we rewind that and take an onboard ride with Jacob Torman there? Because that actually just reminded me of an Italian track that's on iRacing as well, of Monza. As you see, it gets close to the wall there. And in Monza, you have those barrier walls that seemingly come out of nowhere. You're going to onboard ride with Jacob here. Skirts the wall just a little bit, and wham! There it is, right there in the middle of the corner. Those tires, Mike, I had no idea they were there until we saw Jacob just get collected. They might have been able to save that race car had it not been for those tires sitting there. Take a look now, see he gets really up under the wall and wham! Right into the tires. Man, what a hard impact for that 31.
Definitely. I think it's bad luck. So far, 2 weeks to pick we picked drivers and ended up not being good at the end.
My pick is still fighting there, and Jeff Clifton. Also, well, Jacob Torman, yeah, that was the name I told everybody to keep an eye out for here tonight. And if you've been watching Jacob in that 31, he has definitely been putting on a show for you folks at home here tonight. He has got that Kyle Busch attitude in tonight's race here, but as you see, he's getting into a little bit of trouble here racing that way. We have an opportunity in our 7th caution here in the AdminBoxx 30 here at Hickory Motor Speedway. I'm going to invite everybody who is watching to maybe shout out your favorite driver in the chat, who your race pick is for tonight's event, or maybe just who you want to see in victory lane here. As our points leader, Jeff Clifton, is just fighting his way through the pack. He has fought his way up to about 6th. But Caden Tufts, man, he's trying to take that crown back here at Hickory.
As we're getting ready to go green. And Caden Tufts, not a great restart. Nathan Bryant, P2. Followed by TJ Allen. TJ, oh man, he's trying to get that lead.
You see TJ really trying to race Nathan there in that. Oh man! But Brad in that number 3 lime green machine is trying to put his nose right there as well. But look at the king. He has come in that Jeff Clifton machine there. He is trying to fight his way up into the race lead. He has had a rough go of things here tonight. What a way to scrap back into the mix, as he is now just outside of the top 5 there, Mike. You see that number 3 of Brad Carpenter there. Really taking things on there, Mike. I believe one of your kittens may have hit that mute button once again on your microphone there.
I was quiet because this is an intense battle.
Oh man, it is very intense, Mike. I appreciate that. Sometimes we get mesmerized by the competitive racing here in the East Coast Modified Tour. We see TJ Allen in that 6th. We see Mike Caden Tufts. He has wasted no time once again here on that restart. He's really finding his lines here at Hickory, not wanting to he's actually wanting to take that points lead back from Jeff Clifton.
And we're actually going to go on board with your race leader and show you how aggressive he's getting in the corners.
And Mike, for the folks at home, I know you're used to road course racing, but how difficult is it to race this type of race car? As you see, they're only making left turns. I know everybody likes to make that joke, but you see how aggressive he is on the wheel, and you see how meticulous you have to be on the acceleration and deceleration on the entry and exit of these corners. Take us through how difficult it really is to race this style of race car, as we might have another caution on the track. We do, ladies and gentlemen. We have our 8th caution of the event here, revving up that 10-4 broadcasting replay for you. See what exactly, man, Mike, I think we only had maybe this amount of cautions last week.
Yeah, it looks like it's the 57. Again, getting on that apron. We've seen Chris Edwards. Exact same move that Chris Edwards had early on.
Yeah, and that gives us that opportunity to revisit what I was just asking you about there. How difficult really is it to race this style of race car?
Wow, it is a challenge for sure. I mean, for these type of cars having only 2 gears, yes, it is a challenge because you got to hit your marks, perfectly. But it being how is like the setups are fixed, or everybody's driving the same setup. The only thing you could change is I believe the brake bias, which is how much you get on the brakes. I believe that's the only thing you can change on these cars. But you're racing the track, and that's what you got to learn. Race the track, not the car. I know a lot of people says race the car. Then, as we see, everybody's starting getting aggressive.
As you see, and Mike, I want to ask you before we go green once again here. You are my inside guy of iRacing here. We saw it out of the Virtual Racing League on Tuesday nights here on 10-4 Broadcast, another modified series that we bring you on these restarts. How pinpoint do you have to be to get these jumps we're seeing out of Caden on these restarts?
Caden's been timing these restarts perfectly.
We'll take a view here as we're about to go green flag racing once again here in the AdminBoxx 30. You see that big jump there. He actually swings that machine to the outside to throw that big block on Nathan Bryant there. We lead the way down into 3 and 4 here. Nathan Bryant's right behind him. TJ Allen and that 6 machine's right there as well. Some of the action that's ensuing behind them. We see last week's winner Jeff Clifton in that 15. Oh no! Big action right behind that battle. Oh man, I believe we just had 3 cars crash, go 3 wide, Mike. Oh, this action's crazy here tonight.
Oh man. And my pick once again.
Oh no! Clips Miles Morris, and that 1 Miles comes back up onto the track, hits Edward Marshall in that 4, and wouldn't you know it, collects Jacob Torman on the outside wall there in that 31. You just had 3 cars involved in that, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have to rewind that just a tad to see what exactly happened there. Man, Mike, the action is crazy here tonight.
That was intense.
Man, take a look here. You see Miles Morris gets caught up with Edward Marshall on that backstretch.
Give you one more replay.
See right there, they get tangled up there, and then sends Miles right back up under the track into the 4. And as the 4 was racing with Jacob Torn in that 31 there, see some other drivers get tangled up in that as well. Man, Mike, things are getting crazy here in the East Coast Modified Tour.
Definitely coming down to the wire with less than 25 to go. These drivers are like, who wants it more?
Man, we're gonna see who wants that points lead after tonight, because if Caden can hold off Jeff Clifton, who is now, Mike, creeping up there in that 15, he has now cracked the top 5. After getting involved in an accident in his heat race, he has scrapped his way up into the top 5 here with less than 20 laps to go. The self-proclaimed king of the modified Jeff Clifton there not only went back-to-back like Drake in last week's race at Martinsville, but he went wire to wire without much competition other than the last couple laps there where he went side by side. Got collected just a little bit there. Felt really bad about winning the race that way, but there's nothing you can really do here with the sensitivity of these race cars, Mike.
Definitely, for sure. You know, we're going to get a restart here. And, you know, Kane, he's been timing it out perfectly. Bring up the speed here. Right as soon as that pace track goes in, he's on the throttle.
We are green flag racing once again there. That is an awesome rocket restart once again out of Caden Tufts there. Caden leading Nathan Bryant in that 149. TJ Allen in that 6 rocking that Mission 22 paint scheme. You see the self-proclaimed king of the modified Jeff Clifton right behind him as well. We're cracking just less than 20 laps to go here in the AdminBoxx 30 here at Hickory Motor Speedway. Jeff Clifton in that 15, TJ Allen in that 6. Big run out of TJ there, entering the corner there. Had to slow down just a little bit. Came into that corner with a lot of speed. Jeff in that 15, trying to inch his way up there, Mike. He's got some competition behind him and Hoyle. Shout out to Timothy Hammond, our awesome producer here at 10-4 Broadcasting, for tuning in with us here tonight. They just finished up the big show race that took place earlier this evening at around 6 o'clock. I believe Timothy Pope was the one that actually came home with the victory in that race. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now double-digit cautions here at Hickory Motor Speedway. It is our 10th caution of the race, Mike. And rev up that 10-4 Broadcasting replay for the folks at home.
Oh, looks like the one. So we can get another replay one more time here.
Looks like deja vu once again. Shout out to Denzel Washington, because we just saw these drivers tangled up just a little while ago there. That is Miles Morris in that 1, Edward Marshall in that 4. I think Brad Carpenter was just an innocent bystander to that caution, right?
Yeah, it looks like Brad Carpenter, you know, hit that little pedal to the metal and gave the bump to the 4.
Came in very hot there, ladies and gentlemen, but Mike, is coming down to crunch time here. We'll hit our last commercial break with 10 to go once that creeps up here with 7 laps to go. But Mike, before we go green here, do you think Caden's going to be able to hold on to this race victory, or do you think anybody's going to have anything for him towards the last bit of this race?
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say I believe Caden's got it, but I don't want to be biased.
Don't want to put the commentator's curse on him just yet.
That's right. I mean, I think next week at Watkins Glen, I'm not going to be picking a usual. I don't know. Maybe the week after when we come back to short track race, I think we'll put the curse on Caden. I think these drivers would want that. Not saying it's good or bad, but I believe Caden not doing so well will help a lot of these drivers out in the points.
Man, Mike, I know a lot of these drivers aren't excited about Watkins Glen next weekend, but I definitely am, because it gives me an opportunity to see these modifieds at a road course. It almost makes me think of like a video game where you're able to take one of those open wheel cars on a road course. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Caden Tufts, another big restart here on the green flag wave. Nathan Bryant, that 149, they're still sticking on his tail there. Gonna have to find a move to get around him there on those restarts. Two battles ensuing right behind those leaders, just outside of the top 5 there. Hoyle's trying to crack up into the top 5. See Turner right there as well. Patrick Jenks is up there as well. Brad Carpenter is now down into the 8th position. Miles Morris is in the 9th, and then Mark Swain rounds out your top 10. But it looks like Mark Swain was just overtaken by Edward Marshall in that 4 to crack up your top 10 there. You see TJ Allen in that 6 there, still trying to inch his way up there, trying to catch Nathan Bryant in that 149. But it looks like Nathan has caught Caden Tufts there, Mike. He's creeping up on that back bumper there. Looks like he has found his lane just in the middle of that corner there. As you see, Caden's just going to get a bigger run there. Yeah, Mike, looks like he is catching him in those corners.
Yeah, we see, yep, I'm going to put it up here, last lap times. Them two have been going back and forth in the fastest laps.
We have a caution on the track once again, ladies and gentlemen. Our 11th caution of the race. We'll rev up that 10-4 broadcast and replay for you.
It's like it's the 1 and the 4. Oh, and the 66.
Oh. Mark Swain in that 66 is going to catch that back corner panel of Edward Marshall there on exit. And we talked about during a few of our broadcasts and also tonight how sensitive these race cars are. If you're used to watching stock car racing with the trucks, ARCA, Xfinity Series, Cup cars, you can almost bump doors a little bit. You can bump fenders, if you will. You can get a little aggressive there, give a little love taps throughout the race. But in these race cars, Mike, it's almost like what you're used to in the sports series are open wheel like F1 or Indy cars, where just a little bit of contact is going to send the other car flying.
Yeah, you with these wheels being open, almost like Formula 1 and IndyCar, you want to be very careful, touching another driver. I mean, I know we talk about that, N-word as a net code with iRacing. That's something that we don't really like to talk about, but, it happens. But, I mean, there's really nothing you can do. You just got to try to be, watch the driver around you, as well as, keep alert and how deep you're getting into the corner. Yes, these drivers are trying to get every last minute aggression moves to try to get that lead. We see Caden has been dominant almost this entire race. Nathan Bryant, he needs to get a good restart, and hopefully he can get that lead from Caden.
Yeah, Mike, and maybe we can treat the folks at home to a special point of view there. Maybe we can take an onboard ride with Nathan Bryant during this next restart to see his point of view on this restart before we head to that last commercial break. You'll see as this pace truck's rounding this last corner here, it looks like we're about to go green flag racing here once again here in the AdminBoxx 30 here. If you haven't checked out AdminBoxx, definitely go check them out at AdminBoxx. That's 2x's.com. Go check them out on Discord as well. It is an awesome device if you are a league admin for all your admin needs. But maybe we can take an onboard ride there with Nathan Bryant. There we go. Awesome point of view there. Nathan Bryant, that 149 there, is going to race right behind Caden Tufts there. You see, not as good as a restart out of Caden Tufts there. Nathan Bryant's trying to stick up with him on that back bumper there. He is really catching him on the corners there. Finding his line here. Listen, 9 laps to go here. Man, really aggressive into that corner, Mike. Just really digging down into the corner. I believe this might be the perfect time to go side by side one more time for the folks at home before we come back for the closing stages of this race. Commercial in there for you, but these are the late stages of the AdminBoxx 30 here. This is a 2-car battle between Caden Tufts and Nathan Bryant here with 4 laps to go. Oh, as you see, Caden Tufts gets really low on that corner. Nathan Bryant follows him there. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, riding around 3 and 4. It is time to throw those 3s up. Rest in peace to Dale Earnhardt, because we got 3 laps to go here in the AdminBoxx 30. There's a 2-car shootout between Nathan Bryant and Caden Tufts. If Caden Tufts wins tonight, he might overtake that points lead from Jeff Clifton. We'll see how it all shakes out. We have 2 laps to go here, Mike.
2 laps to go. The AdminBoxx with 2X 30 here at Hickory Motor Speedway. White flag is out. Ooh, as we see Caden go sideways out of 4.
Caden Tufts is now leading the way here on the final lap. Nathan Bryant right behind him. Looks like there's enough gap for Caden to take this race victory here. We'll see if it's going to be enough. Round 4, and it is! Caden Tufts is the race winner of tonight's AdminBoxx 30. Nathan Bryant's going to come home P2, and TJ Allen in that number 6 is going to be on the podium with that Mission 22 paint scheme. But Mike, Caden Tufts is back into victory lane here in the East Coast Modified Tour. Man, Mike, what a drive it was out of Caden here tonight at Hickory Motor Speedway. He had to battle for it, Mike. It wasn't as easy as it was for Jeff Clifton last week at Martinsville. He really had to battle it out here in tonight's race, but big ups to Caden in that 88 machine for coming home with tonight's race victory, Mike. And how it all shakes out, we take a look at that grid. Jeff Clifton finished in 4th, so big on Jeff for climbing through that field to finish inside the top 5, but it might not be enough to retain that points lead as we take a look at the official results here. And Caden Tufts is our official race winner there with Nathan Bryant in that 149 machine finishing in P2. TJ Allen racing that Mission 22 paint scheme at a TJ George Esports going to come home P3. Last week's winner, aka the self-proclaimed king of the modified, Jeff Clifton, is going to be 4th. Rex Hoyle is going to finish in 5th. Brad Carpenter, who was just involved in a lot of incidents here tonight, Mike, going to come home P6. Miles Morris, again, another name that we called out a lot here tonight with those cautions. 10 cautions here tonight. Going to finish P7. Waylon Turner is going to come home P8. Patrick Jentz is going to be P9. Edward Marshall is going to finish P10. And I'll throw it off to you, Mike, to finish off that official results.
Mark Swain will finish P11. Andrew Tift will finish P12. And rounding out your rest of the field, Jacob Torman, Jerry Mitchell, Jim Blankship, I believe that's how we pronounce your last name. I apologize if we do. Chris Edwards and Daniel Rowe. Round out the rest of your field. They ended up retiring early. And we'll be right back. We'll take a quick commercial break. And we'll be right back with interviews.
All right there, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here at the conclusion of the AdminBoxx 30. You got a chance to take a look at that AdminBoxx there, and that website popped on the screen there. That's AdminBoxx with 2x's.com. Go check them out on their website, Facebook, or Discord. You definitely have to go check it out. If you're not in the business of ordering one, maybe you know somebody that needs one, or your admin or your league that you race outside of the East Coast Modified Tour wants to pick up one, definitely the thing to use here. It is similar to a Stream Deck for gaming, where you don't have to bounce back and forth. You can do everything from the device, and what a convenient way of being a race control, Mike, of calling cautions, adding laps, all that good stuff there, Mike. But I believe we are catching up with our 3rd place finish here tonight, and it is a joy to see that number 6 Mission 22 paint scheme on the podium here tonight at Hickory Motor Speedway. We are speaking with TJ Allen. TJ, you got a copy?
Oh yeah, I got a copy. How's it going, guys?
Going
it is
pretty good.
Yeah, very well for us up here in the booth. That race with the 10 cautions just seemed to fly by there.
It was like anxiety that entire race, man. That was an adrenaline rush the whole time, even with those cautions.
Man, we really saw you scrapping it out there to get that podium finish, but looks like Caden has regained his winning ways there. He might be the points leader after this week, but as you were talking about, this race was anxiety ridden from start to finish. Kind of take us through your point of view and how you feel your race went here tonight in that sixth machine.
Well, to tell you the truth, I was very excited to be able to start up front so that I didn't have to wreck myself in the heat races and start from the rear of the field like I've done in the past. Last week at Martinsville was horrible for me. I'm naturally horrible at that place, so it was nice to be able to come back and get a top 3 finish and get this car showing.
Man, we saw everybody running kind of different lines there. We saw a few cautions caused by guys coming in just a little bit too hot on the entry, just clipping back fenders there. It almost was reminded me of the Denzel Washington movie Deja Vu, because we kept seeing the same cars involved in those cautions. How were you able to avoid the craziness on the track and come away with the podium finish there?
Well, to tell you the truth, man, I was pretty much wrecking the entire race. I mean, the first half of that race, the tires on that track, it was so loose. I almost took Jeff out there at the end of the race, and he almost clipped me, and that place is a struggle, and, it takes somebody that can understand how to get around a super technical track like that just to be able to not get into other people. The place is super tough.
Man, it looks like you did very well to finish in that podium there, TJ. But before we let you go here, I did mention a few times on the broadcast. I saw it on your guys' post at TJ George Esports that you guys are rocking special paint schemes here tonight. If you want to take the folks at home, what that paint scheme means to you folks at TJ George Esports and what kind of organization that represents.
Yeah, so the paint schemes that we're going to be rocking here for the next couple of months is going to be representing Mission 22, and that is a nonprofit organization that does a bunch of benefits for veterans and people who have committed suicide, all in the veteran community. We're running a charity event July 1st this year through TJ George Esports and Black Sheep Motorsports to pay honor to the 22 men and women that commit suicide every day. And we just feel like this is going to be a really good thing that we can bring attention to, and if we can get a good turnout for it, it'll be a yearly event that will bring a lot of good things for a lot of people that are struggling.
Man, that is amazing. I almost sent goosebumps up my arms there when you were mentioning that, because I believe that is a organization or a cause that needs to really be more spotlighted here in not only iRacing community but just in general. I believe mental health and that sort of awareness is a huge thing that is underlooked, especially with military veterans. So I personally really appreciate you rocking that and showcasing that. And where can the folks at home find more information about that cause? And if there was a chance to donate, where could they do that as well?
You guys can find all the information you need to donate at TJ George Esports on Facebook. Just type in the at TJ George Esports and it'll take you right to our page, and we have tons of stuff in there for anybody that wants to donate straight to Mission 22. They're going to be promoting everything that we got going on with this event and any other events that we are involved in. So this is a brand new platform for them. They don't really know anything about it, so we're going to try to work in the avenue of getting these veterans a different avenue of taking their mind off of the pain. Maybe they can come out here and come race with us and get some happiness back going for them.
Man, that is amazing. And TJ, it is awesome to see you up on that podium here. You just shouted out your biggest sponsor here of tonight, Mission 22, and giving the folks at home an opportunity to go find out more information about that. But is there anybody that you might have had watching here tonight, or anybody else that you might have wanted to give a shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, most definitely. I want to thank my Aunt Wendy and my Grandma Tony inside watching. Like I said, I'm in my van out here racing around with you guys. I want to thank Jim Blankenship and Black Sheep Motorsports for all the work. I mean, we put in a lot of time in the last 2 days running official servers at Myrtle Beach to get ready for Hickory, and it paid off. Didn't pay off very well for Jim, but it paid off good for me. I want to thank Moza Racing, TBM, which is Track Bar Media, and Mission 22. And of course, I want to thank Martin Sports for sponsoring this, and you guys up there in the booth broadcasting it. and every guy, all the guys in the field, honestly, Caden, Nathan, Jeff, those guys, they're a class act. And I've said it once, and I'm going to say it again. This is one of the only leagues that I've been able to come from the back of the field all the way to the front of the field and not get wrecked by anybody, and that's hard to say.
Yeah, definitely very competitive, very awesome racing, for lack of a better term, here in the East Coast Modified Tour. We see it every week out of you guys there, as we just hit the halfway mark here in the East Coast Modified Tour. And TJ, looking forward to Watkins Glen next week. I know you drivers might not be as excited as we are up here in the booth, but looking forward to see what these Modifieds have in store for that road course.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that place too. Watkins Glen is a really, really fun place to run around. Never been in a mod, but hey, it's going to be a blast. And I know Evan is going to be running that race, saying he's been turning laps like crazy there, nonstop. So we'll get to see him out on track.
There we go. I believe he made an appearance at the Virtual Racing League as well, our Tuesday Night Mod League. So it's kind of cool to see him in the race car. But TJ, we'll let you go here, coming home P3 here at Hickory Motor Speedway, and we want to wish you a great night. And again, go check out Mission 22 at TJ George Esports for more information about that fantastic paint scheme and fantastic cause you are representing here tonight. And wish you all the best. We're looking forward to see what you got in store for us at Watkins Glen next week.
Heck yeah. Thanks, guys. We'll see you later.
Man, Mike, TJ Allen coming home P3 here tonight. I believe that's one of the drivers that's really going to break through here in the next couple weeks. We saw him finish P2 on Easter Sunday, rocking that Happy Easter paint scheme. But again, what an awesome cause he was representing here tonight.
Most definitely. If you want to, find more information, check him out on Facebook. TJ, I believe that was TJ Esports. Yes, TJ Esports.
TJ George Esports.
Oh, TJ George Esports on Facebook. Definitely check them out. Looking to donate. Also, if you want to check out 10-4 Broadcasting, also on Facebook, I believe it will have some information there as well. If you guys are interested in donating as well, we'll definitely work with the guys over at TJ, and hopefully we can get a nice, good donation coming up.
Of course, and speaking about our competitive racing here in the East Coast Modified Tour, it looks like you are catching up with our second place finisher, Nathan Bryant, on pit road. And hey, Nathan, this is Mike and Will up here in the 10-4 Broadcasting booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Nathan, I believe by checking out Discord that I believe you said you weren't going to be able to make tonight's race.
No, I don't know. I'm house sitting. Well, obviously I'm not house sitting at the moment, but I contemplated it all day. Didn't know how this race was going to go for me or just in general, because I know it's a tight track and it really tests the drivers. But I said, screw it. Maybe played a little mind games with people, make them think I won't come, and then I showed up.
Definitely. Looking at your race tonight, how did you think your race played out tonight?
I'd say it was fine. I think I started third, finished second. Obviously, Caden's always a tough competitor every week. Jeff drove through the field. TJ was really good. I was just kind of waiting for Caden to make a mistake. Saw him make a mistake with a couple laps to go, and my eyes got big, but when that happened, I ended up making my own mistake. So I'm fine coming home second, especially with how tight and agonizing this track really is for a driver.
Next week we go to Watkins Glen International Speedway, the road course there up in New York. Any feedback, any last words, so to say, of what might come and what might not come?
I don't know. Usually I don't really turn laps prior to a league race, but I'm thinking I might have to for that. I don't know. It's going to definitely be weird, especially in a tour mod. But I guess the only good part is you only got 2 gears, so you don't have to be messing around with shifting the whole time.
Definitely. Here at 10-4 Broadcast, we want to give you every chance to shout out any sponsors, family members, team members. Floor is yours.
Yeah, I got to thank Makoni Setup Shop, Skyworks, Don's Welding, Bison Scaffold, Haynes Supply, Thermal Foams, Don Adamsack for giving me an amazing paint scheme, Buffalo Concrete, Double Clutch, um, my girlfriend, and I mean everybody out there that's watching, and obviously you guys for putting on a good show for us, making us look good.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, we glad for you to race with us tonight. P2 have first off saying that you weren't going to run, but definitely looking forward to next week, and we'll chat with you next week.
Yeah, we'll see if you chat with me next week, but I'll see you guys Tuesday.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to it, Nathan. We appreciate you taking the time here. And that was Nathan Bryant in that 149. Again, one of those drivers that races double duties here in the mods. Mike, he'll be with us in the Virtual Racing League on Tuesday. Man, Mike, one of those drivers that we've seen throughout the weeks here just battle it out for the lead in the closing stages. I believe he was in the top 5 last week at Martinsville when he got tangled up in that craziness between Caden Tufts and Jeff Clifton there at the end. But again, another top 3 finish for Nathan.
Definitely, even after saying that, he wasn't going to race this tonight. A lot of the drivers, looking on Discord, oh, he's not going to run. They said they'll be up there in front, but guess what? He ended up showing up and changing their minds.
Yeah, Mike, I know how it is. I house sit on the side, dog sit, all those good things. I'm a man of many jobs, and I know how hard it is to house sit and kind of bounce back and forth. I believe there was one night I was house sitting where I had to run home here to the computer to do a broadcast and then run right back over to the house I was house sitting. So I understand the craziness there, but it looks like it paid off for Nathan Bryan, that 149 for that second place finish. I do want to take this opportunity, though, to jump over to the chat. It looks like Sergeant Boyd says he is here. He wants to say thank you for the guys for allowing the tribute. Of course, we allow all sorts of tributes here in the East Coast Modified Tour and giving TJ the time. And that's one of the things that we love to do here at 10-4 Broadcasting. If there's a special cause or special thing that you'd like for us to highlight, especially a cause like that is an amazing cause, Mike. That's definitely a thing that is overlooked, not only mental health, but suicide awareness, all that good stuff there. I believe it's something that should be spotlighted more here in America, or just in general. I believe that's something that should be really looked at more here, especially with the military veterans, because they go through it, man, and that's especially something that should be highlighted more here. And we couldn't have given a TJ more time to go over that with that cause, and we do want to send everybody over to mission22.com. Looks like you Googled it off air there, Mike, or if you want more information, go check out TJ George Esports to figure out how you can get involved with that organization or donate whatever you can to that organization, Mike. But I believe it is time to bring in our race winner here. Looks like he has taken over the crown once again here in the East Coast Modified Tour. I believe he is going to leave tonight's race with that crown that Jeff Clifton loves to rock here as the self-proclaimed king of the modifieds here. And Caden, you got a copy with us here in 10-4 Broadcasting booth?
Yes, sir, I got a copy.
Oh man, what a race here. We didn't see you go wire to wire like Jeff did last week, but it was close to it. You had to battle your way there. And just to kind of take the folks at home through your point of view of tonight's race here, we saw 10 cautions here at Hickory Motor Speedway.
Mainly, the goal was when we started on the pole there with the quick time of qualifying. My goal was just to save as much tire as we could, try not to make as much mistakes as we did for the past couple of weeks, and just managed to keep the car in one piece, and we managed to do that. So ended up taking the win, which is probably a good points night for us, and maybe hopefully gives us the points lead back. But if not, we still got plenty of races left.
Man, it was a crazy and chaotic race here tonight. I spoke to the third place finisher there, TJ Allen. We were talking about how this race almost reminded me of the Denzel Washington movie Deja Vu, because we started seeing all the same cars involved with the craziness. A lot of it was the entry and exit onto the corners. Did you feel like your strengths were the corners there, or was it those rocket restarts we saw out of you?
It was a little bit of both, honestly. The restarts, I think Nathan started to catch on a little near the end, but I mean, we had a lot of corner speed. It's definitely one of the key factors here to nail the corner, or else you're probably not going to have the greatest of runs down the straightaways, which is really all this track is about. Momentum, speed, and consistency. But I mean, we were able to keep on to all that and come away with the win. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, it looks like Nathan was starting to creep up on you just a little bit there. I believe with a few more laps there, you might have caught in that back bumper there, but it just seemed like on those restarts there, you just got a huge jump. Kind of take the folks at home through what kind of enabled you to do that on those restarts. Is it a skill that you've practiced through track time, or you started getting that timing down as the laps progressed here at the Hickory Motor Speedway?
Really, it just comes from experience on restarts. I mean, I've been around plenty of guys that were really good on restarts, especially coming from real life worlds, and bringing it over to the sim, that helps a lot. And I usually just try switching it up at the slightest bit. I mean, it probably doesn't look like it makes a difference, but it honestly makes a huge difference.
Really does. Mike, did you have anything for our race winner here? Didn't go wire to wire like Jeff did last week, but definitely had to battle it out for the race victory.
The one question I had was, we've seen, coming down to the wire that your left front would actually get below the yellow line and you would tap that apron just a tad bit. Did you feel like your car was getting a lot looser going on that apron? We've seen a couple cars, get a little further down on the apron and spin out. I was wondering how were you able to keep it still?
My car was honestly starting to get a little tight when I was running above that yellow line, so I just kind of thought and tried something and it ended up working. So I was trying to get my left sides below that little yellow line on that apron to get that little bit of rotation through the corner to make it not tight and not hit the wall, which was the main goal of the race tonight, like I said before. But I mean, yeah, that's really all I had to do was just try new things in the middle of the race. It's usually a risky thing to do, but with this track, it's not that risky at all.
Next week we go to Watkins Glen International, the road course up there in New York. Any feedback, tips, tricks that you may have learned to see if these modifieds can get away around that track pretty good?
I really think tire spin is going to be a huge factor in that race, especially on a road course with high speeds and all that. And only 2 gears, that's going to be a challenge. But I mean, I've done plenty of road racing, the 24 hours of Daytona, 12 hours of Sebring, and a couple other endurance races. But I mean, hopefully that can carry over to the modifieds. Probably not, because a complete different car. And I mean, 2 gears versus 6, 7. I mean, it's going to be a difference.
And Caden, I wanted to jump in and ask you as well as we're talking about heading to Watkins Glen next week, and I'm actually excited to see those mods at the road course. Will we see you in a special guest appearance on Tuesday night in the Virtual Racing League, or are you kind of staying away from taking over that league as you are here in the East Coast Modified Tour?
I haven't really thought of doing any other leagues. I'm in 3 currently right now, and I got a lot of stuff going on my schedule right now, including real life racing. So I'm just trying to make as much room as I can for sim racing and real life racing.
Gotcha, man. And as we talk about real life racing, we do want to give you that opportunity to shout out any sponsors you have here tonight, anybody you might have had watching, and where can they find your real life racing information at?
You can usually find it around my social media pages. It should be just my name. You can search it up, or it would be on timscornermotorsports.ca. He's the local guy for all of our media content for around the Maritimes for racing. But definitely the biggest shout out I want to make tonight is TJ Allen. He has a special event coming on here soon, Mission 22, July 1st. It's a charity event. You can message TJ George Esports, Black Sheep Motorsports, or just TJ himself to get into this event. $22 registration fee. Then I'd just like to thank all my sponsors, LBT Pallets, Bradwater Merges, Timberley Beverage Room, Factory S Motorsports, Guys Were Transfer, A-Rod HVAC, and you guys for putting this on.
Man, Caden, back to your winning ways here in the East Coast Modified Tour. We're not quite sure how the points will shake out, as Jeff Clifton was able to climb back into the top 5 there in the closing stages, but definitely going to be a big shakeup there as he overtook you for the points last week after going back-to-back like Drake here in the East Coast Modified Tour. But man, we are excited to see what you have in store for Watkins Glen next Sunday night here in the East Coast Modified Tour. But big congratulations from us here in the booth for picking up the win here at Hickory.
Thank you guys, I appreciate it.
Brady, you have a great night. We appreciate it. Man, Mike Caden Tuff's coming home with the race victory here tonight. Man, he had to battle for that one, Mike. It wasn't as easy go as they come as Jeff Clifton had at Martinsville last week, but really just an opportunity to keep that machine on the track. As we spoke to a few of those other podium finishers, it was really an anxiety-ridden race, if you will. But man, was able to keep his cool up there with Nathan Bryant creeping up on him.
Yes, definitely. Yes, Caden did lead majority of the race, but towards the end of it, it was more of a battle because we see Nathan, after saying he wasn't even going to show up tonight, on the back bumper towards the end of the race, and almost giving him the little bump. This was one of the great races for sure, and looking forward to next week at Watkins Glen.
Yes, sir. Man, I am pumped for that Watkins Glen race next Sunday night here live on 10-4, broadcasting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But if you want more modified action, we do broadcast a modified league called the Virtual Racing League. It is a brand new league that just started up. We're about 2-3 weeks into that league, Mike, and a lot of these drivers here from the East Coast Modified Tour are involved in that series as well. I believe this schedule will change because we'll be adding them onto our Tuesday night race there as well. But Mike, on Friday night is the playoffs for the High Octane Sim Series. They run Gen 6 race cars in that series. We are starting off the playoffs there at Texas, and then we are at Michigan for the Powerhouse Racing League. And then, of course, the big race is the Watkins Glen race here in the East Coast Modified Tour, Mike, and we'll get that Tuesday event worked in there as well. But Tuesday night, Mike, I am super excited about that because I actually have never been to that one before, and that is the LA Coliseum. We are running mods at the LA Coliseum at around 8 p.m. Tuesday night, so definitely come back here for 10-4 broadcast and we're ready to get all of that action. But if you want to check out this schedule here, we'll have that schedule posted on our Facebook as well, Mike. But before we go tonight, I do want to give a shout out to these awesome sponsors you see on the screen with us as well. Our title sponsor of tonight's race is AdminBoxx with 2 X's, as I get my finger pointing going pretty good there. That's AdminBoxx with 2 X's, as you see up in the corner right above Mike Maddox there. Go check them out on Facebook, also their website as well, and Discord at AdminBoxx with 2 X's. Definitely a device that you want to pick up if you are an admin or race control of a league. Martin Sports is right above me here in the corner. It's opposite day here for me. I can't get it down, but Martin Sports, you see it right over my shoulder here. MartinSports906.com for all your iRacing apparel needs, custom racing apparel. I believe, Mike, you put in an order for custom racing I can't get it down. Custom racing jerseys yourself there for your team. I can't wait to see you rocking those here on the broadcast. And also Edwards Racing Setups. I need to go check them out because I believe we need a painter here on 10-4 broadcast and do some, I'm probably not saying it right, but config files and vector files for our logo, because I believe some leagues want to add our logo onto the race cars. And again, can't forget about Stay Tuned Sports Podcast. There we go. Right next to us here, right in the middle, for all your sports needs. And what a time to tune into the Jimbo and the boys there at Stay Tuned Sports Podcast. It is the wild world of sports right now with NHL playoffs, NBA playoffs, baseball starting up, big MMA fights. Tyson Fury may or may not be retiring. Who knows about that? But, Mike, what a race it was for us here tonight at the East Coast Modified Tour.
Definitely, this race and all the races that we broadcast, have been amazing races so far. We're looking forward to Watkins Glen, the road course. As we heard Caden talk about it. These cars have 2 gears, so definitely going to be an interesting race to look forward to. And I never raced Tour Modifies or even SK Modifieds at a road course, so I'm definitely looking forward to that. And you can catch that here on 10-4 Broadcasting next week. Same time, same channel for sure. We're looking forward to hopefully more side-by-side action the following week as we return for more short track racing. We've seen, Jaden caught up in a lot of incidents early on, especially during his second heat, to where he gave the bumper few times to that race leader. Will there be payback? We won't know until we come back to the short track.
Yeah, Mike, and as you mentioned, these cars only have 2 gears, so there's going to be a lot of give and take at the road course. As you saw tonight, that acceleration and deceleration, as we covered throughout the broadcast, it's going to be a lot of that at the Glen, as you're not going to have the gears to shift down. You're going to have to go up to top speed on those straight shoots. Once you get down into those the rumble strips, coming to my mind now, we've done short track racing, speedway racing for so long that I forgot what they were called there for a minute. But once you get down to those corners, you're really gonna have to drop that car down to make that corner, but then get that machine right back up. But you can't do it with the gears and other series where you're able to shift down, shift back up, and ride that acceleration out of the exit. Can't do that at these cars. You really have to use a lot of footwork on those pedals. Use that brake just a tad. I know there's no brakes here in racing, supposedly, but use that brake just a little bit and a lot of give and take on those pedals. But once again, here, ladies and gentlemen, before we end this broadcast, we do want to give a special shout out to Mission 22, and that was the paint scheme that TJ Allen was rocking here. That is an awareness for military veterans, mental health, and suicide awareness. So if you want to go more information about that, go check them out at mission22.com or go check out TJ George Esports. But what a crazy race it was here for us here tonight. Mike Maddox, Will Tiller here. We had 10 cautions here at Hickory Motor Speedway, but again, we saw Caden Tufts. I believe he is going to rock with the crown here tonight. He is going to be the points leader after tonight's event, as you saw Jeff Clifton finish inside the top 5. So we'll see if it's maybe neck and neck. Maybe Jeff's still at the top and Caden's right there, but we'll see how everything shakes out during the week. If there are a change in points, we'll definitely let you know on our Facebook page at 10-4 Broadcasting on Facebook. If you want to subscribe to our YouTube page or be notified every time we go live here, we are live 4 nights a week here at 10-4 Broadcasting. So if you want to make sure you stay up to date with everything we got going on for us here at 10-4 Broadcasting, go subscribe, hit that little bell, the notification button. I think everybody knows how that thing works. I'm subscribed to a lot of pages on there, especially the Pat McAfee Show, all those things. So every time they go live or it's 30 minutes till, you always get a notification every time we go live there, Mike. And for all of us here at 10-4 Broadcasting, myself, Will Tiller, Mike Maddox, we can't wait to see everybody back here on Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for that live modified action out of the Virtual Racing League. But again, we